you're an iPad user, you'll know I've always been a big fan of Paperlike. You see, I use my iPad Pro pretty much as a travel device or a note-taking device. And I've used Paperlike pretty much since my very first iPad, to be honest. And I've always been very, very impressed with them. I actually checked the channel when I put this one on, and I've had it on now for nearly 3 years. And I don't know if you can see in the studio light, I'll put some close-ups here. It's still looking really, really great. It's definitely something that I recommend you put on your iPad to not only protect it, but to get that Paperlike feel. But Paperlike reached out to me literally about a week ago about this. This is Paperlike 3.0. Now, as I've mentioned, I've never really had any issues with my Paperlike, but one comment that we would get a few times whenever we put out a video is that the application process looks a bit fiddly. And to be honest, I always found the application process okay, but I think when you are spending a lot of money on a screen protector, there is that worry that if you put it on wrong, are you going to mess up the way your iPad looks? Are you going to mess up the application so that it just looks weird and janky on your iPad? And that's something that Paperlike have apparently fixed in Paperlike 3.0. It's got an applicator built in to make it easier than ever before to put on your iPad. Now, this isn't a paid or sponsored video, but just because I've done a few videos about Paperlike before, they emailed me and say, do you want a new one to replace the old one you've had for a while? So I thought, you know what, I'll do this quick video. I'll take the old one off, you can have a look at that, and then we'll see how easy or difficult this is to apply to your iPad. So let's get on with it. Let's put it on the iPad Pro. Okay, so before I take this off, you can see here the current screen protector is still looking really, really good. It's a tiny bit of wear and a couple of scratches, but that's some heavy use of this iPad and using the Apple Pencil for this many years. Let's see if we can take this off and we'll put the new one on and just see how easy this is. I haven't even read the instructions yet, to be honest, of this Paperlike, because I just want to see how easy it is. Get past the PR and the fluff and we'll see how it looks. Let's take this off. So I'm just got my fingernail in there. It's actually quite satisfying seeing my iPad really being brought back to new, fully protected, that old Paperlike. Let's put the new one on. Okay, I'm just going to cut in here. As I was about to put on the Paperlike, I noticed something strange. We'd actually been sent the Paperlike version 2, a mistake by Paperlike. So I reached out to them. I placed a new order for the Paperlike 3. I then made the mistake of putting in the incorrect iPad size by 1 year. So I got another one which is incorrect, so my fault this time as well. But today we now have the Paperlike 3. So I'll continue this video a few weeks in between and we'll put on the Paperlike 3. So let's do it. Okay, so this is the Paperlike 3, as you can see on here. So let's take this out and pop this on the iPad. Let's see, so I'm just going to take the iPad off the case here, put that over there. And let's open this up. Let's see what's in here. Okay. So let's take out the bits and see how much easier this is to use. So we've got a new Paperlike 3 starts here. We've got wet wipes. We've got a nice little sticker here. We've got an alignment frame. Not seen that before yet on a Paperlike product. We have, as usual, a nice little letter from Jan, the founder of Paperlike. I'll put that over there. And this is the Paperlike itself. So you can see it's actually quite a lot different here. The setup is obviously a lot different. Looks a little confusing. I mean, when you first get this out, I don't think it's one of those things that you could just go ahead and do. I think you're definitely going to have to watch the video, but I'll run you through it and show you how you can put this on your iPad. So first things first, I'm going to grab one of these wipes and we're going to give the iPad a clean. Now I've had the original Paperlike on this iPad since I've owned it, so as you've probably seen, it's been really, really good. So I'm interested to see how this new one looks. So my screen is pretty perfect because I already had that screen protector on from when I purchased the iPad. So just using this wet wipe to get rid of any glue, dust, dirt, Get it looking like new. So you can see here it's quite a wet wipe, if that makes sense. But what you're going to notice next is we are going to use this, and you can see you've got a dry wipe here on the back. So we're going to use the back of the applicator, and it acts as a dry wipe, which is really rather cool. I like this. And even this tool feels good quality. It's not like a flimsy bit of plastic they've made here. It's really, really nice. So I think that's looking good. Nice and dry there. Now I do have a little mark on my iPad, which you can't really see through the screen protector, the original one. I did that when I dropped my iPad the first day I had it. Very small mark. We'll see how that comes out. There we go. Now let's put on the screen protector. Okay, so next step, you'll find you actually have two Paperlikes, and a lot of people don't realize this. Each Paperlike you buy, you actually get two. So if you ever mess it up, you've got a spare one, and best of all, if you do a good job, you've got one to give to a friend or family member. So I'm just gonna put one over here to the side. I'm gonna take this one we've got here, and I'm gonna align it on the iPad like this. Now this is where the alignment tool comes in. So you can see here, you have this little alignment section, and this is the same rounded corner as your iPad. So what you're going to do is use that, push it on your iPad like this, and this just helps you align this section of your iPad like this. So I've aligned it like so. I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to keep that there, and I'm just going to pull left tab 1. There we go. Should be all aligned on this side. Looking good. Got a little air bubble in there. That's usually quite normal at this stage. Okay, now next up on the helper here, we have a little hook section here, which is to remove this dust layer here. So it feels a bit nerve-wracking, but I'm just gonna put this on here like that. Okay, so I've got that on there, but then gonna pull this out to the side, I think. All the way underneath. This feels very strange. And it's out. So there we go, the dust catching layer is out. There we go. A few bubbles in there, I can see. Okay, now next up, this is where we're going to actually apply the screen protector itself, because this is just the dust layer. So this is apparently what you have to do. Hold this on this side. We're going to get the hook into here again, and we are going to pull. This feels very tight. There we go. You can see we've got some big bubbles there, but hopefully this should be okay. Now we need to do this side. So again, I'm hooking that in there. Okay, now I've got some big bubbles there. So let's see what we do next. Okay, so what we do, a bit like the old Paperlike, is we grab this tool and we're going to slide out these bubbles here. Now you can apply quite a lot of pressure actually when you do this. Now I've actually got a lot of bubbles here, and annoyingly I always have these tiny ones that just are right in the center, but you can sort of push them out bit by bit. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes. Now I know a lot of people are worried about scratching this top section here, but usually this is like the old Paperlike, this section comes off, so don't worry about scratching the top layer here. Obviously you don't want to puncture it, but you can apply some pressure here and get fingerprints on it. It doesn't really matter. I really do have some stubborn bubbles here. Now the reason why you want to do this now rather than later is obviously you can use this top protection layer to get out those bubbles. Okay, I think I've mostly got them out. I think there's like a couple of small ones that I just can't get out. This little corner is proving to be a bit of a pain. So I'm going to go with it. A couple here that keep coming back as well. Now we're going to take off and reveal the Paperlike. And there we go. Applied nicely, but yeah, there are a couple of bubbles here and here, so not a perfect job. And the aligning, it's good, but I don't think it's perfect. What do you think? Okay, so I have the Paperlike 3 applied. It's very, very hard to show this on camera because it's a black screen, but it's applied nicely. I do actually have a couple of little bubbles in here, so I'm going to work at getting these out. Now, this did happen on the Paperlike 1 and 2, but I find just over time the bubbles kind of naturally come out. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here and just move those to the edge. Now, what do I think of the applicator process? I always said to Paperlike, I'll be very honest on this. If I'm honest, I didn't find the Paperlike 2 very hard to put on at all. It was very quick and easy process. And version 3, it's a tough one really. I like that they've added the ability to line up with the applicator. I do like that. I think that makes it a little bit easier. And I like that they've numbered the tabs. For me, as I said, I didn't have any issues with number 2. And I don't know, honestly, if this is lined up very, very slightly worse than the 2, because you can't see the edges quite as clear as you can on 2. Now, this isn't bad by no means. I'm just being very nitpicky. I said I would give them my honest opinion because this is not a sponsored review. They've just sent this out, as they normally do, for us to check out. So I would still recommend it. It's still a great product. It's one of the best screen protectors, if not the best, that you can get for your Paperlike. If you've watched this channel for forever, you'll know I always put a Paperlike on my iPad because I think it gives you some of the best protection. It gives you a matte finish. So like you can see, it's not reflecting, it's matte, it's dispersed. I really like that. And when you're using the Apple Pencil for drawing or writing, it really is a good product. Now, if you want even more protection, don't forget, if I put this iPad on here, you can protect your iPad's Magic Keyboard also with an editor's keys keyboard cover. So this is the Final Cut keyboard cover, but we've got them for LumaFusion. We're going to be doing them for Premiere Pro. We've got other ones on there as well. So check these out. This is a silicone cover. It goes on and off your keyboard like this. Gives you all of the shortcuts for Final Cut Pro, your editing program of choice. You've got the screen protector, you've got the keyboard protector. Now your iPad is good to go. So if you want to check out the link to Paperlike, I'll put a link in the description. Also, if you want to check out the Editor's Keys silicone cover, I'll put a link in that description as well. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.